Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
Everybody, welcome in to the show that tries to teach you never trust a big butt and a smile. Raj, how are you doing tonight?
What?
That's our motto.
According to Sir Mix-a-Lot, I don't think he would agree with you.
He said he likes big butts and he cannot lie, but he didn't say he trusts them. So the two lessons can go hand in hand. So that seems like a joke better suited for the Saturday night show.
I'm doing fine, Herb. You kind of caught me off guard with that intro, but I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good, man.
Okay.
We've already got our Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yes. What's funny is you put two guys on and let them drink a little bourbon, and you get like 5 more subs. So I don't know if that's all related, but we appreciate everybody. We're making our climb to 300.
300, yes.
Then 3,000 is next.
Yes.
The next person, we appreciate you being here to support Sadie.
Yes.
Our copyright laws won't let us put up that particular phrase.
What is? I can't even read that. Is that Spanish? What is that? I don't know.
But we definitely appreciate you being here. So without further ado, or as we like to say, with further ado,
yes,
you have to introduce a guest. Raj, Auburn was down at halftime in the game this weekend.
Yep.
We got the person that made the halftime speech that sparked them in the second half.
Okay.
Sadie's joining us. What's up, Sadie?
Back.
What's going on, guys?
Sadie,
I'm really good at motivating them.
Yes. Are you allowed to tell us anything? Like, how much of the halftime speech is is it whole? Would you have to censor the whole thing? How many?
I mean, not all of it, but the majority of it. But they got the message, so
So
we're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Were you honestly ever nervous? Did you think it would kick in the second half?
Yeah, I feel like they were more nervous the first half, and I knew when they were shooting the way they were shooting from the 3, and we were only down a point. I was like, okay, we got this.
Yeah,
I knew they would have to cool off. They did against Louisville too.
Yeah.
And what's Brian? How are you doing,
That's
sir?
Brian.
Tonight?
Appreciate you.
Congrats. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We were actually pulling for Oklahoma to get in there. Actually, no, I wasn't, because Oklahoma treated us so terribly. But we love Brian. Brian is our favorite Oklahoma fan, man. We love him. So.
Brian, we appreciate you.
We were actually listening to that on the way home today. So that's what put that one in my mind. So, you cannot trust about.
I'm surprised you guys weren't listening to a newer song.
That's a pretty new song. Okay. Came out in the last couple of years, or a couple of years. Couple of years. What's up, Lady Alpha? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good night. This was a tough one. You first time making the Sweet 16 in 27 years.
Yes.
On the line.
I didn't realize the drought had been that long too. 27 years is a long time. That's back to like when I want to say Dominique Canty in those days was playing.
Yeah.
So
Bama basketball was good when we first got here, and then something about us getting here just kind of tanked the whole thing. So we're sorry about that too. Then your best player goes 45.
Yeah,
that was you know what I honestly thought when Maryland had that terrible possession at the end of regulation and they still got a 3 out of it. That's when I felt like the win, because they were throwing it around. First girl gets her shot blocked. She throws it over the other girl, and with somebody running at her, hits it. I said that the possession didn't deserve it in the 3.
Yeah.
But when they hit that, and then like we kind of talked about before we got on here, our player, starters fouling out and stuff, I was just like, I don't know if you have enough gas to get through this.
You could tell that Sarah Ashley Barker was just absolutely exhausted going into overtime too. Her face was just red. She was just holding herself. She did everything she can, but coming up with 45 points, she did everything she could for that team. So shout out to her. Shout out to the women's basketball team.
3 free throws to send it to double OT.
Those
weren't just
regular free throws though. Those were not regular free throws. Like basically, if you miss one of those, your season's over.
Yes.
So hitting those were clutch. Kudos to her.
Well, Auburn women's basketball team did not make the tournament, but we got a new coach. She was introduced today.
Okay. Who's the new coach?
Larry Vickers from Norfolk State.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
like him already. You know, that's our parents' alma mater.
Yeah,
I
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
So he was introduced today. There's a bunch of stuff going on social media about him and his family landing in Auburn today. So hopefully we're going to be rocking and rolling and joining y'all back in the tournament in a couple years.
All right, sounds good.
You can build pretty quickly, I think, the way basketball is set up now.
With the portal.
Speaking of the Norfolk State team, I called mom. I told her about this. I called mom and said, "Hey, they're playing Florida the same, like about 30 minutes before the game. Let her know what time and stuff. You know, your school."
Why did you do that? Do you not love our mother?
Because I know she wants to.
What are you doing?
Because I know she wants to support the school. And I know
this is what happens when you're the favorite son. You can do whatever you want. This is the kind of stuff you get away with.
I told her, I said the game's on CBS at whatever time, but I said, Mom, Florida's favored by about 30 points, so it might not be pretty. She just laughed. She said, "That's okay. We're gonna watch anyway." I said, "Okay, have fun." So, And I remember the Norfolk State coach getting mad on social media about the
spread.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, come on. What do you expect from the
Well, they covered.
Yeah, they did cover. They still got a butt whooping.
It was never close.
Yeah. So. Oh well.
Brian mentioned his team. Yeah, UConn. That's sorry, buddy. That's going to be a tough one for sure. Yeah. That's what I said. That's got to be mentally one of the huge, the biggest shots I've ever seen. To get up there and do 3. So, yep. And what's up, Kyle, man?
Kyle?
Has become one of our biggest supporters. We really, really appreciate you, man, joining in on all the shows, man.
Likewise.
From the Bama Standard has been checking us out, so we appreciate it.
He's checking in Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Monday nights. We appreciate you, Kyle.
Yep. All right, so let's jump into this. First thing, when you're kind of looking around the bracket, who is y'all's biggest surprise, if there's any, of the teams that have made it this far?
Hold on 1 second.
I'll throw out the lowest seed is Arkansas.
That's not surprising because of the talent they have.
Mm-hmm. I think they were kind of a victim of the SEC is just.
So
tough.
my biggest surprise is how bad Iowa State played against Ole Miss. I thought it was going to be close.
Yes.
I figured Ole Miss could pull it out, but I did not expect it to be a blowout.
Well, I thought Ole Miss would win because I thought Iowa State came in with a couple injuries, right? That kind of popped up at the end. But that game was never. Yeah, he said it would be his biggest surprise.
Yeah,
it was never competitive.
Yeah. I mean, the Arkansas kind of a big surprise because they beat St. John's, and I definitely expected St. John's to make it to at least the Elite Eight. That's surprising. Yeah. But those would probably be the only two.
Yeah.
For me, it was just more like Maryland and Michigan, not Michigan State, but just University of Michigan, because I didn't really pick them going that far in the tournament anyway. So, I mean, Maryland, we saw the last second shot yesterday. The buzzer. Okay, with that being said, let's ask the question here on the panel. Let's
I don't
ask
think it was.
Sadie, was it a travel?
Oh, he traveled, but they don't call that stuff. So
I think the first step was.
I mean, did y'all watch his feet? He
but on that the first pickup, like the gather, so to speak,
they let you get away with that as a gather.
And then the next 2 steps were the 2 legal steps. When you saw it in live action, I didn't even think it was a travel, but then I saw it on social media.
I didn't either.
Yep. And then they showed the slow motion. I was like, I could see why they would talk about it, but that's not a call. I guess it's not like a call you make in those type of games. And again, I think it was
that was my thought. Raj echoed exactly. When I saw it live, I didn't think it was a travel. So I didn't realize there was a controversy until later. So.
It was all over X.
Yeah.
And I feel like the refs were so surprised that he even made that shot. Going the left side and shooting it off the back, that's like an extremely difficult shot.
For a right-handed play, everything
one of the
about
toughest shots to make,
Yeah.
especially being guarded the way he was. It was like the highest of highs for Colorado State.
Yep.
I was like, that's heartbreaking.
And
first buzzer beater, too.
I picked Colorado State to be playing Florida in the next round, so barely missed that one.
But I think Maryland gives them a better competition, but they're still going to win. So
yeah.
So he says his friend, and look, I like I said, live, I didn't think so. And I didn't have a dog in that fight, so it's not one of those I'd sit there and argue with anybody about. I think not. If he says, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'd hate to be wrong. I'll say this: I'm not making that call as official to take away a buzzer beater.
No.
Oh, great job, Herb Ragsdale, the official.
I'm like, dude, I want to go home tonight. I want to sleep well tonight. So I'm getting out of here.
So. But you mentioned it was hard because Colorado State was down 2. You hit a 3 with 3 seconds left, and then to his credit, the guy for from Maryland, freshman, goes into the huddle and says,
Queen.
"Give me the ball." Man,
Yep.
that's
Derek
I
Queen,
love
yeah.
seeing that. So
Yeah.
and what our first real big surprise and for first buzzer beater.
Mhm.
Unless you're counting the UConn one, which gave people an over. So that's a whole nother. I was a travel by dish. Yeah. See, I don't, like I said, I didn't. And what's up, LB? Thanks for joining us
Shout out to
tonight.
LB.
I just didn't think
Appreciate
it
you.
was. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I would think. I
Yeah.
would hate to see that be the call, especially when it looked like, because the official on the broadcast said it wasn't a travel because he said it was a gather. So,
yeah.
How many Elite Eight teams? It was the Sweet 16 right now. There's 7 SEC teams in the Sweet 16. Is that what you're asking?
Comment alone still speaks volumes about the conference because I know everybody was complaining that we got 14 teams in. So basically half the teams that are in the Sweet 16 are SEC. So we don't want to hear it. We are representing.
Yep. And only one of them, we only have one matchup where it's SEC on SEC Prime right now.
Kentucky,
Tennessee.
Go ahead,
that's going to be a dogfight.
So what do y'all thinking? Kentucky's won the first 2 matches.
I know. I just don't know how they can beat them again.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Are they gonna be able to win a third, or is it gonna be third time's the charm?
I think Tennessee ends up winning.
Sorry.
Oh, personal bracket. I don't have my personal bracket. Shoot,
mine's terrible though. So I think I am
like
third from last in our bracket challenge,
and I'm right ahead of. I think I'm right ahead of Herb. So like that
was his only thing that he wanted to do was be right ahead of me. So,
yes.
Let me see. The bracket is a purpose is still strong. Look, if anybody had followed my bracket, you'd be way off a cliff right now. So.
Hey,
the fact that everybody's from a Power 4 conference right now, do y'all think that's good or bad for college basketball?
I mean, good and bad because the matchups are so good. But there's just no Cinderellas. There's no story we're following. There's no guy that's carrying. There's no white boy carrying his team. So it's interesting, but from the matchup perspective, I mean, there's just some really good matchups, like Texas Tech and Arkansas. Like that's
a good game.
Yeah, that's gonna be such a good game. Duke, Arizona. Caleb Love playing Duke when he played at North Carolina, and he hit the buzzer beater against them a couple years ago. I mean, there's a lot of storylines with the matchups we have, but I mean, it's nice to have a Cinderella, something fun to follow. But like I've heard nothing but other people talk about on Twitter and different podcasts talking about how it's not good for the game because of the NIL and it's not going to make it interesting. I don't know what you're talking about. The Arkansas St. John's had some of the highest ratings ever.
Yeah.
So I think people like the matchups. Yeah. I don't think. I'm on the same page. I don't think it's bad at all, and I think it just speaks volumes for where college basketball is today. I mean, as long as the games are good, I don't think it's going to hurt the game at all. The best teams so far have gotten to where they need to be, with the exception of St. John's because I had them going a little farther in my brackets, but I think it's fine. I think college basketball is in a good place, so it's okay. You're always going to have a few naysayers out there who think differently, though. So.
They got to be like that. They got to find conflict in everything.
Yeah.
I'm just at with Brian's question right here.
Yeah.
In the West bracket where Florida is, I missed one game in that whole part of the bracket. And then everywhere else, it was just terrible. So, I'm going to say how great I was there. Oh, and Brian did have a question about BYU. I'm not surprised at BYU getting this far. We had a show where we talked about this on Going Hard on the Paint on the Bama Standing Network. And they were trying to, say, hey, Wisconsin is the future possible matchup for Alabama. I said BYU. I feel like they can
even on the show last Tuesday, I think I picked Wisconsin, and I think both you and Sadie had mentioned BYU. I think we all three of us could kind of see BYU beating Wisconsin. I picked Wisconsin in my bracket. Obviously BYU wants, and BYU's got some shooters. I know while we were beating St. Mary's, we were in another group chat, and someone was like, "Well, we're playing BYU. They're a similar team to St. Mary's." I was like, "Oh no, bro, they're not a similar team.
No, totally different leagues,
completely different."
Whoa, the guys on BYU can actually shoot from three.
They can run and gun.
St. Mary's guys, they look like a playing a high school team.
I'll say this: I'm glad we beat St. Mary's, but I'm gonna be honest. As an Alabama fan, that was one of the less eventful games.
Yes,
that game sucked. Raj, I told
It
somebody
was hard to watch.
It was
It was.
hard to watch. St.
was.
Mary's offense is basically let's go down, give it to one of
You-
our
you
big
have-
men, and let him pivot.
Offense.
And let him
Cliff was
pivot.
eating. He was just
Yes.
having a field day down there. I
Yes.
was like, he's not played like this all
Yes.
year.
That reverse
I'm like,
alley-oop,
is it
I
the
was like, okay,
matchup?
Cliff. Yeah.
I was like, is this the matchup or is Cliff coming into his own finally?
I'm actually surprised we
I'm
didn't
curious
beat them by
there how he
more.
does.
What'd you say, Raj?
I'm surprised we didn't beat them worse than we beat them.
Yeah.
I think we should have.
Well,
Garbage
our
time.
guard play still wasn't great. Sears was really off and got in foul trouble, so that didn't help. Youngblood was
he
leading
had a
in the
better
first
game.
half. Yeah, but I don't think
Julian
he
didn't,
I don't think he
so.
scored the whole second half. Youngblood, so it was just
Yeah.
kind of a weird, kind of mucked up game. 0 fast break points for
Yeah.
Alabama, I think. So it was just a weird game. They tried to slow it down, but like once we got up 10, I relaxed. I was like, they're not coming
I
back.
did too.
And even
No.
the announcer said it at one point. He was like, St. Mary's gonna have to do something to
Yeah.
get better
Well,
shots.
they
You
didn't.
can't
They
keep
didn't
running
start
the
jacking
clock
up threes
down.
till like the second half, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
it's way too late to start doing this.
Yeah.
And they were like 0 of 9. I
Yep.
was like,
Yes.
what are y'all doing?
Yes.
But
I
just,
was like,
just
there's no
overall, though,
way.
it was just like I was like, dude, this game needs to be over. This is painful to watch.
It was.
This is
Well, I
horrible.
mean, look, so this is what I did on the other shot. I was talking about what it was at halftime. Alabama, we were getting outshot at the free throw. I was like 14-8 in favor of them. We had 8 turnovers. They had 0 turnovers. We had no fast break points. Sears had 4 points. He was 2 for 7, 2 fouls, and we were up by 13. And I was like, none of these stats go with this
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say this, like Raj said it already. If I wasn't a Bama fan, I would have turned that game off.
Yeah.
That game was
100%.
awful. Awful.
Yeah.
Barry was in a lot of dogfight. Yep. I know who.
Angie.
Yeah. Unless he meant Sadie and just retyped it.
Sadie, is that your nickname, Angie?
I mean, sure.
Maybe she's the one that did Angie's list. I don't know how this works. Yeah. All right, so let's start
Okay,
looking
he
at the
meant
matchups
Sadie.
that are coming. Okay, he did mean Sadie. So yeah.
Okay.
Let's see how we want to bring this up. All right, so we'll start at the top. I definitely feel old because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna look at it on my screen instead of having to lean forward like Rod is on this screen.
Oh, sorry.
So, Auburn versus Michigan. Sadie, do you want to take this one away?
Ooh, it's gonna be good. We're going against. There's some storylines here. Trey Donaldson, our old point guard who transferred out, he's the starting point guard for Michigan now. And then Danny Wolf, who played for Yale last year, that beat us, is one of their big centers. They are tall down low, but they don't have as much length in the guard position. We're faster. Their guards don't pick up their feet. I mean, they're tall, big men don't pick up their feet as well. I think we wear them down like we did Creighton. I think that it's going to be a dogfight in the first half, but we're playing in Atlanta. We'll have the crowd. I'll be there.
I was going to say, Sadie will be there.
I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be screaming. I'll be the girl in the back screaming the whole time. I won't sit. I'll be so nervous. I may be doing the prayer hands and all the things, but I think that it wouldn't shock me if it comes down to the last like 4 or 5 minutes and then we just go on one of those runs again and they can't come back. Yeah. If we do lose, it's because they have contained Dylan and Janai and our guards aren't shooting well. So they can definitely Janai did not have a good game last game. He had a good defensive game. He had double-digit rebounds, but nothing was falling for him. I mean, the easy floaters weren't even going in. He had 8 points. So he's got to get going. A little? Oh yeah, you can tell he has no lift. Right. He looks like he's like
dragging
trying not to get hurt.
Yeah,
it's like he's being way too cautious. Yeah. This is not the time. Just lay it all out there at this point.
Yeah.
But
I say because I see that he looks like he's laboring up. You know, he just looks like. Can we call timeout and just somebody carry me to the Byron Leftwich across the field? So.
And I mean, last game Dylan got the cramp. Chad Baker-Mazar got, as Bruce said, he's just all bone, so he's bruised up pretty good. Yeah. If it wasn't for
I said Baker-Mazar is light. I didn't realize how light he was. I knew he was.
Oh my God.
But he's like 180 or something like that.
He's so skinny. So if it wasn't for Tahad and Denver, those guys, and Chaney really stepped up last game. But I think that if we play our game, we come out like we did last game and just not beat ourselves, we'll win. We'll wear them out like we did Creighton. And Creighton, little white boy, Ash, whatever his name is, said, "You can't guard me." And then he made no more points.
Was that Kalkbrenner?
No, she said
it was
the guard.
Ashworth.
Kalkbrenner's the big dude. Yeah, she's talking about Ashford. Yeah.
He said they can't guard me, and after that they were like, "Oh, bet.
Okay,
yeah.
Just because you were great against Louisville, you don't start talking trash to the number one seed.
He started talking trash way too early before the first half was over with. So, but I'm excited. There's a lot of good stuff going to be. I mean, Dusty May in his first year at Michigan getting this to the Sweet 16 is huge for that school.
I did not have them going this far, so yeah.
I definitely thought they were going to lose to Texas A&M, but Texas A&M held them until because we were texting about that, and then
they blew that.
They lost gas, and I'm shocked. But Texas A&M played so rough. Yeah. They just ran out of gas at the end. Yeah. Nothing was falling for them at the end.
Well, and that's probably when your identity is made just on offensive rebounding and not offensive scoring. I think that kind of gets you as well. That's a lot of effort to put into every single game to just try and crash the boards. And if you don't have that, you're already not a great shooting team. That's terrible. So, yeah, and I think I had that in a couple too.
I did too. So I had UC San Diego playing Auburn.
Yep. Oh, you did. That's right.
Yep.
And what's up, Big Mike? We are contractually obligated to tell you that Mike is one of the best people that we know and has a great wrestling podcast that you need to check out every Thursday at 8 p.m. So, love you, Big Mike.
Yeah, shout out to Big Mike.
So, Rod, you going with Auburn also?
Yeah. I just feel like, I mean, to a lot of Sadie's points, and I don't think Auburn's really going to be behind too much in this game. And I just don't think Michigan. I don't think their size is going to be able to match up with some of Auburn's size. And then if Pettiford comes out there hooping like he has been pretty much all season, I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with him. Yeah. It is going to be a close. I think it's a close game in the first half. I agree with that. Yeah. But I think Auburn breaks away. Maybe two minutes after second half, Auburn just goes on a run, and Michigan can't come out of the hole. So I'm going to go with Auburn.
Favored 7.5 right now.
Yeah, that would scare me though, just because I think Michigan will try to muck up the game a little bit and keep it close.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a scary little. Do I think they're 8 points better than them? Yeah, but you know how these end of game situations go and everything, so that would kind of scare me.
I'll take a 1 point win. A win
exactly. At this point, you don't need style points. You're just trying to win and move on.
Yes. So that brings you to the Ole Miss and Michigan State.
Oh, this is a good one. I'm just really shocked that Iowa State played as bad as they did. And I watched that whole game just about because my sister is Ole Miss fan. She went to Ole Miss. And so I was watching the game and I was like, what is Iowa State even doing? Like they just looked like they were at a sink. Nothing was falling. This is going to be good. Chris Beard versus Tom Izzo. I think Michigan State wins. I think they mucky it up. And Tom Izzo comes out, but it wouldn't shock me if Ole Miss won. But do I want to play Ole Miss for the fourth time? I'm not so sure about that.
Lord.
And we've
only have somebody's number for so long. Yeah, it's tough though. You know, you figure at some point they have to figure something out.
Yeah.
But,
right. So if we win, I don't even know. Like, I think playing Michigan State would be fun.
Yeah.
But
and a 1 versus 2 matchup, I think they're good.
I completely underestimated Ole Miss, even though they beat us in the regular season. I told her this, I actually had North Carolina beating Ole Miss in round 1 and moving on. Yeah. I really muffed up that part of the bracket, but kudos to Ole Miss. Like, again, I underestimated them, but I think this is gonna be a tight one. There's a good chance they pull it out too.
Yeah.
Who's your official pick, Raj?
I picked Michigan State.
Yeah,
because
I think Michigan State gets them. It just feels like they get them. But Beard, like you said, he's done an amazing job. You know, I think they're on the right track for sure, and he's going to give him a shot in this game, I think.
Yep.
So that brings you to the bad. And that would set up a Auburn Michigan State matchup, 1 versus 2. Like I said, that would be good. Florida, Maryland.
Florida.
Yeah. It's like Maryland. You know, you're a little lucky just to get here. At this point,
I feel like Florida faced better competition than UConn.
I thought UConn was not. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was a nasty game there.
The only chance Florida has to lose is if they play Texas Tech now. I just don't think Maryland has a chance.
Yeah, I think Florida's got this one, and I'm glad they beat you. Like Hurley, I understand he's a great coach, but that man's insufferable. He is.
Oh my gosh, dude, come on.
Everything is just terrible.
Tommy's a UConn fan.
Hey, I mean, he's a great coach, and they want back to back. There's no shame in losing the third one. So don't.
Right.
His attitude as like, if I was a UConn fan, I'd be like, I love Hurley. I will fight you for that. But as everyone else in the world, we're like, yeah, that guy's just sees himself.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right, that was a quick. So that.
But I guess when you win back-to-back natties, you can kind of get away with some things. So,
bro, if I want back-to-back national titles, I would show up in a robe.
I'd be wearing pajamas and Jordans.
You couldn't tell me anything.
You could.
I'd have an old fashioned during the game. I'd be I'd be like, Herb,
just swirling. I'd spit. What is this?
Hey, when they come to the timeout, like drop a play, I'm like, you want me to do everything around here? You guys drop the play.
I would mess with them. I drop one with the markers, one with crayon, one I'd have a group
mess with people.
Mime it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we would have some fun. Texas Tech, Arkansas.
Tough one. This is one we talked about prior to the show. I feel like is Arkansas's luck gonna run out with Texas Tech? Golly. I don't know.
I think this is it. This is so in my official bracket, the only things that I've gotten right is this part of the bracket, the West. I think I only missed one game so far. I have Texas Tech winning this one.
I had St. John's beating Arkansas.
So the reason I'll say this, the only reason why I didn't go with St. John's is because all I ever heard was how bad of a shooting team they are. They're a terrible 3-point shooting team. So I had knocked.
I did hear that too.
Yeah. So that's the only reason. So, Sid, I see you looking hard at this matchup. What are you thinking? Texas Tech, Arkansas.
I don't know. This is tough because Arkansas, like, they are playing
really well.
Like they're just grinding out these teams. But I also feel like Texas Tech.
Mike said he's the opposite of me, by the way.
Oh, well, I think that this is going to be very interesting. But I think I got Texas Tech coming out on top. I think that the Arkansas, like somebody just said their luck is going to run out on them. But it would not shock me if Arkansas did win. And if Arkansas wins, Florida's going to mollywop them too.
They are. Yeah, they are. So, yeah. And this is what I have too as well, Brian. If we were going into the secondary picks, if we were going with this half of the bracket, I would have Texas Tech. I would have Florida versus Auburn coming out of the games we have left.
I'm sure they want a rematch, but I'm scared.
Yeah. Florida's just scary, period.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. We said in our preview show, we all agreed Florida's the best team in the country. Yeah. And the only thing that scared us was everyone else said Florida's the best team in the country.
Yeah. That made me nervous.
Yeah. But that is so Rod, you going with Texas Tech as well?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Tech. I'm gonna go with Tech. Again, to say these points, I would not be surprised if Arkansas pulls it out. And I think this might be out of the Sweet 16s, this may be the best game. If it's not, I'm going to put Kentucky, Tennessee up there too.
Oh, yeah.
And then us and BYU. I think Auburn skates by Michigan, but just from overall, I'm going to go with this Texas Tech Arkansas being one of the better games. So looking forward to it.
I hope so. I'm tired of seeing the duds. But Rod, you brought it up. Tennessee. And if you're Tennessee, are you mad that somehow the bracket broke to where you have to play a team that beat you twice?
I would be annoyed. But they probably want this rematch bad. Tennessee is going to try to wear you down, and Kentucky's going to try to shoot you out the gym. So we'll see what happens. Tennessee's played. I mean, I didn't trust UCLA, so I feel like Kentucky has had more they played Illinois wire to wire for much of the game, but I just feel like Kentucky's been tested more during the tournament. So I'm wondering how that's going to affect them. But I don't know. My gut's telling me go Tennessee.
Me too. I just don't think they're going to lose a third time to Kentucky.
Brian's got it.
I feel like the third time, I guess, is the charm.
Yeah, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times.
I'm gonna roll with that.
I'm going Kentucky. I always, and it's not even that I'm going Kentucky. I have been waiting for Tennessee to fall on their face because that's what they seem to do.
You guys,
every year.
You know what? You guys did say that on Tuesday. You said that Tennessee always disappoints sometimes
because they never make it. never made the Final Four. So
Yeah.
I have them losing in the Elite Eight. So
yeah. I don't want to see a Tennessee-Houston match. That might be first to 40. Like,
What?
I don't, because I'm just not a defensive guy. Like, if you said, do you want to watch Alabama BYU or Tennessee Houston? I'm like, Alabama BYU. You know, one of those teams might hit 100, and in the other game they might combine for 100. So I just don't want to. I don't want.
That's true. Who's going to hit more threes in the BYU Bama game?
Yes.
I hope it does, because good Lord.
That's gonna be fun.
We'll talk about that one last, so we can end on that one. But I'll be the lone person. I'm going to go with Kentucky in that game. I agree it's tough to beat a team 3 times, but I just wonder.
Ooh, that'll be something.
Yeah. If I'm like I said, if I'm Tennessee, I'd be mad. I'm like, so the way the bracket went, we had all these teams in here, and the one SEC team you put near us was the team that beat us.
Yep.
Come on.
Huge first year already though for Mark Pope. So
huge.
Yeah.
Cal.
I'm gonna hold that
Arkansas
one,
had a great. I mean, had a much better now, but that's great for them.
All right, so that'll bring us. We said we were gonna do ours. So Houston and Purdue.
Oh, Houston.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about this game. This
I got
is Houston. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless Edie comes back somehow, I don't think this is gonna work out for them.
Duke, Arizona is very intriguing to me.
Yes.
Arizona was down major last night to Oregon. I think 20 points at one point, and then they climbed their way back in it. They were fighting tooth and nail. They were not going to lose that game. I think that Duke wins though.
Yeah, I picked Arizona in it was like one of those free brackets you could do for even CBS or ESPN.
Stop.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No. The game that we passed up.
Oh.
Mike went with Purdue. My bad, Mike. I missed this one.
Oh.
Okay.
We all just shut them down. We're like, nope.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked.
Well, we all agreed Houston was going to win, so I think we kind of moved on.
Yeah, well, my bad, Mike. I just want to give Miss kudos. If
I mean, that would be wild if they do. Yeah. I feel like what you said last Tuesday was if Houston doesn't do it this year, when are they going to do it? Yeah. They losing the Sweet 16 to Purdue would be, the Houston fans would be pissed.
They would. Something we talked about, Sadie, before we got on, you can't count on making it every year. And you've had an unprecedented run really with Houston, but you just never know. You have to take advantage of the opportunity.
And they got a lot of older guys on their team. And what they say in the tournament is trust the old guards because they've been there, they've done that. Young ones kind of make you worry. And that's what kind of does make me worry about Duke versus Arizona, because Arizona's got some guys that have been there. They've done this. Duke has a lot of freshmen and they have it and waiting on, they're going to mess up. And if they do, I think it will be against Arizona. Arizona win. But if Duke plays how they've been playing, it'll be fine. But Arizona can lucky that game up for sure and get the freshmen in their heads. But this is like Houston and Purdue. Purdue's got some old guys too. Smith's been there forever, I feel like. I thought he was going to leave with Edie, but ooh.
That's how college is nowadays.
I mean, Chad Baker Morris is 25, so
yeah,
whatever.
You know, we talked about this though. NIL has changed. You know, guys who are fringe NBA talents are like, look, I'll make enough money
because your options
stay at this point.
Yeah, to your point, your options are like, let's just say I leave and I don't get drafted, then I may have to go overseas and play, and you can still make good money playing overseas. Or you stay in college and still make really, really good money. And let's be honest, you don't really have to do a lot of schoolwork once you're fifth or sixth year senior or whatever you want to call it. So stay in college, make some good money. You still got the status. You're going to be a starter. So just stay there.
The endorsement deals in college are way better than overseas too.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I have never seen so many Auburn players on Twitter and Instagram have all like. Janai was on there talking about TurboTax. I'm like, what? I mean, it's just insane the deals they're getting now. Why not stay? If you have eligibility, you're making way more money than me. I don't blame you.
Yep. Oh, I'm fully. And like I said, if you're not guaranteed really lottery pick, I don't even think it's first round anymore. No. You're not guaranteed lottery. What's
why not? So, I get it. So,
and I don't know if people will be surprised, but there's not a lot of the stars that we're talking about are not like high on people's draft boards, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
Broom, Sears, like a lot of the guys that
Round
you're talking
2.
about.
I don't
Yeah.
even know where Sears is projected right now, but I think he's hurt his
I
draft
think he's
stock
like a
this
late
year.
He
round,
has.
round 2 or
Yeah.
something like that.
I've checked several mock drafts throughout the year. Sears at the best has been around 2.
Yeah.
And at the worst on several of them has been none. And you know, most people only do a 1-round mock draft. He has not been in any first round.
Yeah.
So
and I hate the Jalen Brunson comparisons.
it's a lazy comparison.
It's an obvious comparison. He's light skinned. He's a left-handed point guard. Okay, we get that, but Jalen Brunson is a much more dominant offensive player than Mark
He's
Sears.
crafty. I told you this
crafty,
a long time ago. Jalen Brunson can get a shot off over bigger players from almost anywhere. Sears is like 3-pointer or layup. I'm missing this whole middle ground. And Jalen's like, I'll pull up at the free throw line and get something up over to you. Right? Or I don't have to be going full speed to get there to get, I'll crafty, get you down there, do a little pump, scoop it up around you.
Yep.
So
that's why other teams call Mark Sears the free throw merchant, because that's all he does is try to go down there, let somebody bang into him and see if he can get on the free throw line. I mean, he's a good guy, good player. I know he works hard, but I think he hurt his draft stock this year. I think I think that he's got to have a big rebound game, though, for them to beat BYU. Those threes have got to start falling for Bama, especially some guys.
What's up, Tommy?
Shout out to Tommy.
I mean, let's just be honest. We love him. And I hate when you sometimes say this and people are like, oh, are you not a fan? Look, I'm a fan. I'm just being honest. I love Sears.
But that's
what
why
he has done for the university. It's been amazing.
That's why we are all fans of our teams, though. It's because we can criticize them at the same. You're not a fan if you only say, "Yeah, we're going to win every game by 50 points. All our players are great."
Realistic.
That's not realistic. Come on now.
Yeah.
How do you think Broom does?
How do I think he does in the NBA?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think that I think he's going to be one of them guys that was better suited for college. But I think he's going to make some money. I mean, 2-way contracts. I mean, he'll do something. But yeah, I think that
not superstar. Definitely.
No. That's why he came back.
Yeah. So I agree. Mike said, "Come play on this horseshoe." And I guess it does depend, Brian, if you look on a negative or positive. But some guy, I mean, I know why Brian hates it, because that's what they say about SGA. So that's why Brian hates it. But man, look, if you're good at what you do with it, man.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what people say.
Yeah, and that's just how the game is nowadays. If you're good at drawing fouls, then draw fouls. More fouls I'm drawing, then that gets players out the game. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
I would too if I could. Yeah.
So back to this matchup. Sorry, I really derailed everybody. That's my fault.
Okay, who are we
Duke
going with?
and Cooper Flag not being stopped. I got to go with Duke. That's my pick for this matchup still, for sure.
Speaking of Cooper Flag, are they not hyping him up with these bingo commercials? And
my gosh.
Good Lord.
I didn't dislike him, and then now I'm like,
we get it.
Yes.
But I would love to see Arizona pull off the upset. But with the way Duke played yesterday against Baylor, they just absolutely dominated that game. And I don't see them losing to Arizona, but I hope Arizona keeps it close.
Yeah. Sadie, you want to weigh in on this one first before Raj and I give our homerism? Because we're probably going to end up talking about it again tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that this game comes down to who's making their threes. Bama's favored. That's what I think. I think
we are not a good 3-point shooting team. We are,
but y'all are gonna throw them up there, and y'all gonna make some. Well, if Cliff plays like he did against St. Mary's, against BYU, y'all are gonna win. I feel like he was dominating down low. Y'all need that, because it'll open up for the rest of the team. If they're really worried about what Cliff and Grant are doing down low, then they're gonna have to guard the perimeter better for players like Filion and Aiden and Sears and Stevenson and Reed. I mean, like, it'll open up a totally different game. But it's gonna which Bama team is coming. So I still think Bama wins. I think it's gonna be a close game, and I think it comes down to the last 2 minutes.
Late game execution.
And I hate that, because the first game I was a little nervous because that game got close. Yesterday I wasn't as nervous because I just over watching the game. I was like, St. Mary's they're just a bad team. This isn't gonna. They're not.
It was
gonna
a terrible
game.
matchup for them too.
But knowing that we play BYU, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We didn't talk about y'all against Robert Morris. What?
We talked about.
But Robert Morris had a little more fight.
Yeah,
no, that's
how
the
what
thing.
it was. They were
And,
grittier,
more athleticism. Like
play
when
a different
St. Mary's
style offense,
wanted
too.
to play their way the entire game, and their way just doesn't. You hadn't.
it didn't.
They hadn't
line up,
seen
yeah.
a team like us, and I think they thought they had. Oh, we split with Gonzaga this year or whatever. We can. No, they hadn't seen a team like us. So even when they slowed us down and kept us off the fast break, we were still way too athletic. And you can't get down 10 and continue to play your way if you're St. Mary's. You were just never going to catch up.
Oh no.
I think Robert Morris just laid all the line. You know how those they're like.
Hey, that was way more entertaining game.
It was, no, it wasn't. I hated that game. And
I mean, as a fan, it was way more entertaining.
Oh,
but if you're a Bama fan, I get it. That's nerve wracking. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so Raj, where are you at? BYU, Alabama.
So we hit 41% yesterday from the 3-point range, but we also had 11 turnovers.
And we shot like 12 less threes than we normally take.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying we were 7 for 17. So percentage-wise, it's not too bad.
We averaged 30,
but we're gonna have to shoot more threes Thursday night, and we're gonna have to cut back on these turnovers. Again, to Say's point, I still think we're gonna need our Cliff's presence down low. Hope Grant has a good game. It's good to see him healthy and playing well. He sparked us in that Robert Morris game coming in that second half. I think if he didn't come in that Robert Morris game, that could have been really, really interesting. I didn't want him to play for health reasons. What now?
We wouldn't be doing the show right now.
No, we might not.
That's true.
I didn't want him to
be out here by herself.
But he came in. He only had like 7 minutes. He had 5 points and like 3 rebounds. So good for him. Need a strong game out of both the guards down low. I guess the question again is which file line are we going to see? Is Sears going to be on hot, from the 3-point line? Is he going to limit the turnovers? Holloway gave us some good bench points. So that combination of that 3-headed monster from the guard position is really going to have to step up.
And what about Mo Diabate, Roger? Are you ignoring Mike here?
Mo Diabate is probably one of the most important players we have on our team. Defensively, and Herb and I joked about his 3-point shooting. He was like 2 for 2 yesterday, but his shooting form is absolutely it's kind of hard to watch.
He looks like he's shot putting.
Yeah.
It looks like if he would spin around before he could 3 and do it, that would look exactly like that motion. And they're like, they left him alone out there. I said, if I saw a guy doing that, I would let. And we've all played pickup ball and saw a guy that shot like that and never ran anywhere near him.
Yeah.
So, no.
But I'll take it. But defensively, he's huge. So we're going to need a good combination from the whole team to win. I still have Bama winning by 5. So I'll
introduce you to a man named Bill Cartwright. Well. Or LaMelo. Was it LaMelo ball or which ball was it?
Lonzo had a ball when he
first hit it. Yep.
Bill Cartwright and Reggie Miller's form was kind of strange because the way he kind of put his hands together at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah,
Mo would definitely give those guys. Brian said, "Don't do that to me, Brian. Don't do that to me.
I don't want to say about one. Yeah.
Oh, don't do any of this to me." So Tom makes a good point. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned it with Cliff coming on. JT actually called him out before the tournament started. I don't know if it's related, but these 2 tournament games have been like the best that he's played outside of maybe the last Auburn game. We've had like 3 good games from him the entire season, it feels like. So,
well, it came at the right time.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting that Bama played Sunday, so they're off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, play Thursday. Auburn played Saturday, they're off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, play Friday. So it's the rest for the Thursday and Friday matchups are very interesting to me how that lines up, how that matters.
Tell you why that is, though.
Yeah, BYU, because of the Church of the Latter-day Saints, they don't play on Sundays. They don't play any sports on Sundays.
I do know that, but I'm curious if that makes a difference in like rest.
Oh, okay.
You said the one day we're good with. These kids at this age, if it was me, I'd probably be fighting for every day.
Well, the only reason I say that is it's like the Friday teams get more rest. Like Auburn, so I'm curious how that plays into like winning on. And then
even BYU got one because they played Saturday, so they got one more day of rest than we did.
So
but I can't count that.
Yeah, it matters some teams that don't have any depth.
Yeah.
Right.
If they play 6 people, then that matters. And I think that's what happens with Auburn and Creighton is Creighton starters played the majority of the game versus Louisville. Their point guards played 40 minutes. You could tell they got dead lagged at the end of the game. And because you give it all, it's a tournament.
Yeah.
Like what's the point holding back? So I just thought that would be interesting to see if there's any fatigue.
Yeah.
I think
y'all have some depth, so
we have
y'all should be fine.
Should be good.
Some
and
of
Mark
the others
ain't played a minute yet anyway, so
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rod. You're about to say something on it.
No. I think we should be well rested by the time Thursday night comes. I think we should be fine. But
all right, are we still going with our same Final Four picks, or has anybody got anything different now?
I have Final Four picks. Ooh.
Yeah, has anything
Florida, Bama.
I have Florida. Auburn, Florida, Bama, and I think I had Purdue. I think coming out of there. Yep, and I'm gonna stick with it since that's what I picked.
So I know I'll speak for Mike on this one. He had Auburn, Bama, Florida, Tennessee.
Yep.
So he's still alive.
Yep.
I'm gonna say out of these, Florida, Auburn, Florida, Auburn, Bama, and whoever wins the Kentucky-Tennessee game.
I cannot wait to see Duke and Bama.
If this happened, they're shutting down. They won't even let the game be played. They won't even let the game be played.
It's gonna be a nightmare. Put me in a closet. I gotta watch alone.
I said this last week, and I'm gonna say it again, even though you guys said no. If that happens, you guys have to watch the game together.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
I'm watching by myself in a closet.
No. Watch the game together. Come on, guys.
Me and Herb can do that.
You got to figure it out.
Roger's just throwing us out there, huh?
How about you fly over here and watch it with us too?
I already bought my ticket.
Okay.
Wow. The world will shut down. They won't let it happen.
Wait, if y'all go to the Final Four, are you going to San Antonio?
I am not.
Okay.
I thought about it, but that will be the first weekend of April, correct?
It's
Oh, you'll be here, huh?
Yeah, I'll be in Montgomery that weekend.
Yep, he'll be in Montgomery.
Yep.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for the comments. Thanks, Sadie, as always, for dropping some knowledge.
Of course.
I hate that we have to wait till Thursday. Like, I realize there's rest, but I want this now. You know, I'm like,
I do too.
I need the break. I'm mentally.
I feel that. I don't know. We're the first game. I don't know that I'm ready. I'm saying it right now. I want them to hurry up, but on Thursday,
you're going to be a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Yes.
When there's 20 points scored in the first 3 minutes, I'm like, yeah, this is awful.
Yeah.
I did not sign up for this. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully we'll see y'all back here next week.
Yes.
Again, if Bama loses, Sadie will just be out here by herself.
Hey, if we lose, y'all be by yourselves.
We'll call Sadie. This number is no longer in service.
I know. I'm like, who's Sadie? What? No, Angie. She'll be Angie if we lose.
Angie,
Yes.
We'll put Angie on there. There you go.
I'll put on a wig and everything.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. We appreciate you. Enjoy the game starting Thursday. And look at you.
Thank
Just
you.
For you, Sadie. We're going to end on that note for you.
Thanks,
Roll
Mom.
Tide, everybody.
Roll
Have a good night.
Regal.